In the fall of 2003, I was speaking at a conference in Cleveland, Ohio. It's about 4 hours away from my house, and usually I would go up the night before and get a hotel room, but I wasn't on the agenda until close to lunchtime, so I figured I could get a night's sleep in my own bed and head up in the morning. So I got up super early and hit the road and had a 4 hour drive. I don't like to eat breakfast super early in the morning, and so I said, well, I'll just get something on the way. So I get about halfway up to Cleveland. I'm on the other side of Columbus. Started getting hungry and decided to stop for some breakfast. And so, hey, there's a McDonald's right off the exit. There's a McDonald's off almost every exit. And so get off the exit, get into the drive-thru for McDonald's, and I see a big sign that McDonald's had a new item. I'd actually seen some commercials on TV, the McGriddle. The McGriddle. Now, in case you don't know, maybe you're from another country and you've never seen these glorious sandwiches called McGriddles. Essentially a breakfast sandwich that combines the savory breakfast sandwich with the sweetness of maple syrup pancakes. And they're made with like little syrup crystals cooked inside the buns that when they heat them up, they activate, and literally the bun has syrup inside it. Now, I've always been a big fan of maple syrup. I think maple syrup is the only reason you would eat waffles or pancakes. Those are maple syrup delivery devices. If it was socially acceptable to drink maple syrup right from the bottle, like Will Ferrell and Elf, then I think nobody would eat pancakes and waffles ever again. So I love, I'm like, oh, McDonald's breakfast sandwich, check, love it. Maple syrup pancakes, check, love it. Let's try one. So it's my turn to order, and I'm thinking, maybe I should get two, right? What if I really, really like it? That's a bad choice, right? We're talking like, 690 calories for a McGriddle meal with some hash browns and a drink. And so, I used a little self-control. I only got one McGriddle and hash browns and a drink, and I hit the road back on 71 North on my way to Cleveland. And as I start digging into that sandwich as I'm driving down the road, that McGriddle, it was every bit as good as I imagined. It was delicious. It was amazing. It melted in my mouth. And even though it's got that weird egg, right? It's is that really egg, that like square thing in there? I don't know. But it was delicious. And so I wolfed that thing down. And as I'm driving, the thought occurs to me, I wish I'd have gotten two. Really wish I'd have gotten two McGriddles. I started having regret about only eating one maple syrup flavored breakfast sandwich. And so I'm like, should have got two. Oh well. So I continue driving. I'm listening to the radio. And as I come up on the next exit, I see a sign. McDonald's. There's another McDonald's right off the exit. Well, this gives me the opportunity to fix my previous mistake. And I'm going to get off this exit and get another McGriddles. So I do, without even thinking. I go through the drive-thru again. Well, my drink's out. I need another drink. Might as well get another McGriddle meal, right? Because those hash browns are good. They're kind of small. And so I get another McGriddle meal. Get back on the highway. I wolf that thing down. And now, I'm driving. I got about an hour left in my trip. And that's when real regret starts setting in. That's when my mind starts thinking, like, what did you just do? If you eat McDonald's twice in the same week, you need to make healthier choices. If you eat McDonald's twice in the same day, you have a serious problem and you might need some therapy. If you eat McDonald's twice in the same meal, twice in the same day part, breakfast, I stopped at McDonald's for a full meal. I had first breakfast and second breakfast, like in Lord of the Rings. Oh, and I'm like, if you eat breakfast at McDonald's twice in the same day, you are a disgusting pig. That's a fact. And so as I drive, I just start feeling worse and worse about myself. Not in my stomach, like in my soul. I was being sick to my soul. And as I just start thinking, like, what a disgusting thing you just did. What kind of lack of control? You've been trying to trim down and get better shape, and look at you, you pig. You're disgusting. I started telling myself all these terrible things about myself. And I'm just constantly reminded there's 2 bags of McDonald's on the floor over there. You know, the steering wheel's all greasy. I'm disgusting. I'm the most horribly disgusting human being. And that's the mindset I was in when I rolled into this conference to talk to 400 people about how to have success and happiness in your life, how to have better relationships, how to set goals and follow through, the role that discipline plays in accomplishing your dreams. And you know what? I did terrible. I did awful. I was stumbling. I was staggering. I kept looking in the audience and I'm like, they can tell, they can see my shame. It's seeping from me like sweat. I was embarrassed of my decision. I really did feel shame, and I did not do a good job. It was a couple hours too. It was like this workshop. It was not good. It was painful. It was terrible. And I really, really felt bad about myself. And, you know, this whole experience reminded me of a lesson that I've really learned over and over and over in my life. And I'm hoping that you can learn from my mistakes in this area. And the lesson is that everything you do affects your self-image, your sense of self-esteem, your sense of self-worth, how much you like the person in the mirror. Everything you do, everything you say, everything, in some cases you don't say and bite your tongue. Every action you take is either raising your self-image or lowering your self-image. And it can become a spiral, right? The things that lower your self-image, right? Every time you tell a lie to somebody, even a little white lie, if there is such a thing. But when you lie, your conscience knows that you just did the wrong thing, and you feel a little bit worse about yourself. When you gossip about somebody, you ever told somebody something about somebody else, you just had that quick little pang like, you know, maybe I shouldn't have done. It'll be okay. She'll understand. You come up with some kind of excuse, some kind of reason, some explanation for why it's okay. But it's not okay, right? When you tear somebody down so that you can feel better about yourself, which never works, by the way, because your self-image goes down, your self-worth goes down, which in a lot of cases makes people act out even more, making even more bad decisions. And you get this downward spiral of unhealthy decisions, things making you feel worse and worse until you get to the point where you stop caring about, you know, trying to feel better about yourself. And I've been there, and you probably have too. Here's the good news. That same process functions in reverse. That every time you say something kind to somebody, you feel a little bit better about yourself. Every time you lift somebody up, every time you compliment somebody, little things like after you get groceries, taking your cart back and putting it where it goes instead of just leaving it sitting somewhere in somebody else's way. Anytime you do something that instead of it being for you to gain something, for you to gain advantage or favor or reputation or income, when you do things that are just for you, when you're greedy, when you're selfish, self-image goes down. When you take your eyes off yourself and you try to live for other people, right? And you're kind and you're giving and you're thankful and you're appreciative, your self-image goes up and up and up and up and up. And so here's something else I've learned, that your happiness, your level of success in life, whatever success means to you, is never going to rise above your self-image. If you perceive yourself as being a 3 out of 10 in terms of the quality of person you are, you're not going to live any higher than a 3 out of 10 life. But when you are constantly doing your best to do kind and giving and appreciative things for other people, you start feeling like, you know what, I feel pretty good about myself. I feel like maybe I'm a 7 or maybe I'm an 8. And it's not ego, right? It's not narcissism. It's not thinking you're better than other people. In fact, this is the way to feel good about yourself without slipping into feeling like you're better than other people. Because you won't feel you're better than other people because you're showing kindness to other people, right? If you're the kind of person who believes in the power of prayer like I do, praying for somebody else makes you feel better about yourself. And so that's my challenge to you in this video, is that you find ways to be a blessing to other people, that you try to make good decisions, that because it builds on itself, right? That's what discipline is. And you get to the point where you have a healthy, confident picture of yourself, right? And you realize that, hey, we're all different. We all have different skills and abilities. And we've all developed those skills and abilities to different levels. Everybody's got some things that they're great at. Everybody's got some things that they're working on. But I'm going to do my best to be a blessing, to be a help, to be a giver, to be a server. And you start feeling better and better and better about yourself. You get a better night's sleep. You have less stress. And you are on the path to an epic life. And so I still love me a McGriddle. I haven't had one in years because you know what I've learned? Eating McGriddles makes me feel bad about myself. And so that salty, savory, sweet deliciousness, it's not worth the price, right? Because it's not healthy. It's not healthy in a lot of ways. It's probably not great for your arteries. But for me, what I found is that it's not healthy for my soul. And so go out today, go out this week, try to do something for somebody else. And when you do something for somebody else, instead of doing things to somebody else, see if you don't feel like $1,000,000. I dare you to try.